Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kostuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm during Ashram Week 2.0. We are here live with Raghunath. How did I start this show? I went off course and now I'm lost.
You threw that ashram month in there.
Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, co-host and senior educator, the Bhakti Center in New York, Kostuba Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the farm. Welcome to Ashram Week. Here we are with a big group of live. There they are, somewhere over there, chilling out. We're in it, Kostuba. We're waiting for you to get up here.
I'm looking forward to it. If it wasn't for, I need to be here for Janmashtami at the Bhakti Center, but other than that, I'd be there.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you.
All right.
And it's Gopal Chandra's celebration of life, his memorial, his celebration of life on the 20th. So we're all going to go there. If anyone's interested in going that, especially the locals, just let me know. Let me know. Maybe write Gopal to Wisdom of the Sages 108@gmail.com. One of our Zoomers left his body in a very auspicious way. And we're celebrating his life as he desired it, that we do kirtan and feed the devotees. And we're looking forward to doing that. That's going to be upstate New York. So how are you, Prabhu?
Good.
All good?
Yeah.
Missing anything down there?
Only you, Raghunath.
Only you can make the sun. Yeah. I always know like two words of every song. And then I have to merge it into a. Alrighty. Any announcements, Miss Mara? Miss Mara, lovely Miss Mara.
Yeah, we have Bhakti Recovery Group meetings today. The men meet at 1:00 and the women meet at 2:00.
Gotta keep them separated.
Also, there's a Bhakti Recovery Group retreat at Super Soul Farm, October 4th through 7th with G.
Bhakti Recovery Retreat. Excited for that. And that goes back to back, right, with our Wisdom of the Sages retreat. So you can go to both if you want to just hang out with us for like a week. How cool would that be?
Mm-hmm. And that info is up on the website at wisdomofthesages.com.
Thanks, Mary. Mary, you sound a little snoozy today. What's going on?
I'm wide awake.
You're wide awake? All right.
Yep.
Okay. Put some spark in your step.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
All right. Here, it's Jane Goodall week, everybody. And our nugget today is from Jane Goodall.
Oh, yeah.
The spiritualist monkey lover. All the time I was getting, here's Jane Goodall. All the time I was getting closer to animals and nature. And as a result, closer to myself and more in tune with the spiritual power that I felt all around. All the time I was getting closer to animals and nature. And as a result, closer to myself and more in tune with the spiritual power that I felt all around. For those who have experienced the joy of being alone with nature, there is really need for me to say, little need for me to say much more. For those who have not, no words of mine can even describe the powerful, almost mystical knowledge of beauty and eternity that come. Suddenly and all unexpected, the beauty was always there, but moments of true awareness were rare.
Hold it. There's a period there, right?
Yeah, sorry.
For those who
You're
have
still
not,
using periods.
we gotta use.
I just keep,
they help.
I don't have time for that in my world.
For those who have not, no words of mine can even describe the powerful, almost mystical knowledge of beauty and eternity that come suddenly and all unexpected. Period. The beauty was always there.
Yeah.
But moments of true awareness were rare. They would come unannounced.
Very nice, huh? You know,
Yeah.
I'm ready for a vision quest myself. I'm
You wanna
ready
do
to
something like this.
turn around in my backyard, just walk up that hill into the woods and just, my son, when my oldest son was like a second oldest son, when he was 14, I put him in this great camp with a friend of mine where they just take these 14-year-old kids into the woods for 2 weeks. And I think on the first day, they just put you in a circle and you can't leave that circle.
A circle,
And
like
they leave
in
you
the
alone.
ground, you mean?
Yeah, just like a
a
sort of
grass
like
circle?
this is like a circle in the,
Okay. Force field.
a force field. Yeah, you can't leave that force field and you have to fast.
How big is the circle?
It's not that big. It's not that big at all. You have to just sit. And the second day, they do the same thing, but blindfolded.
Ooh,
And then they spend the whole next day hiking blindfolded.
that's intense.
It's super intense. And then you're out there for 3 weeks.
Have you done it yourself?
I didn't do it. I've done one day.
Which day? The circle?
Yeah, I did it alone though by myself.
Just
in the
one circle.
Yeah.
Did you freak out?
No, man.
No, man.
No, man. I did not freak out. I freaked in. I freaked
Oh,
in.
Okay. Don't freak out, freak in. Mary, I got that.
Don't freak out, freak in. But there is something very, very profound when you can't really move. You're not, you can't really move. You're not, and there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. And you're just left with your mind. Right. And you start to notice stuff. And then you start to get a little angry or frustrated but it's good. It's good for the mind. We should do it, Kostuba.
You got angry out there?
I'm screaming at trees. No, just different emotions different emotions start to surface.
Okay. Well, I do, there's a lot that I really love about what you're saying here. But I think maybe, the most essential, overall kind of thing is that, yeah, here she was, right? Most of us, we just get caught up in the currents of life and we get pulled by the current and we don't kind of try to figure out what am I meant to be learning here, right? Like, what is this experience really all about? It's like, let me try to squeeze some enjoyment, some pleasure out of it as I'm going with that current. You're going from the current from birth to death. And, with that comes education. And then with that comes, romance. And with that comes raising children and earning money and then growing old and dying. That current is moving and you're going along with it. But what are you meant to discover? Like, what are you meant to learn? And so it's, you can see in Jane Goodall's life, she was determined to kind of like find out these mysteries, and they had something to do. She says for her, it had a lot to do with nature and animals. And she says she would go alone out there and she'd come closer to herself, right? It means that she's cluing in. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. There's some self that's beyond it, that I'm meant to kind of become more aware of, to come closer to myself and more in tune with the spiritual power that I felt all around. Right, we're talking about she's feeling spiritual power in yesterday's quote as well. And then she says, and then when she would put herself in that position where she's starting, she separated herself from that current, right? Now, I'm not going to get dragged for a little while. I'm going to step off and step into nature. And then she says she would feel almost mystical knowledge, right? And beauty and eternity. Right. In other words, once you step off that current that's pulling it's a current of time, right? From birth to death, and it's powerful and it's moving, and we're moving on that current of time. You step off it. She's stepping off it by going to nature, and nature is very powerful. We can step off it by going into the wisdom of these texts. We can do it through meditating on these mantras and so on. But you can step off that current, step into eternity, and feel it. And I like what she says here, that the beauty was always there. In other words, we might go into nature and say, oh, it's very beautiful. But it's not just that, right? It's not just appreciating beauty, but it's like, where can it take you? Like what kind of realizations can it bring, or what kind of experience can it bring? And she says, she said the beauty was always there, but moments of true awareness were rare, but that they would come unannounced. And I think that's the thing, like, we're trying to experience, have those moments of true awareness. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. I'm not your enemy, or I don't have any enemy, right? I'm not temporary. I'm eternal. You have to feel that, and you have to search out experiences for that. And we might find that again, like in kirtan, through hearing, through association, through nature, but like, you grab onto those experiences, and when you have that kind of experience and you feel a little bit, you kind of want to protect it, like you preserve it in your memory, right, and preserve it in your heart, and you want to keep like building those until like we're living in that eternity, we're living in that awareness, like always. So I liked her thoughts.
I also like how the idea of like the environment just affects us in so many ways that we don't even, and it can really catapult us towards a deeper realization,
or vice versa, right? Or pull us the other way,
or pull us the other way. Yeah. It makes me want to sleep outside tonight. I've been, the weather's nice. It's a good time. I have that nice yoga platform in the woods by the pond. Just set up my cot, just sleep under the stars. It's just the fact that we even have to say, we got to spend more time outdoors. It's like we're just beings, but we've just trapped ourselves indoors. Like spending time outdoors is like a big event. It's like the most natural event to be outdoors. We're like, I think I'm going to spend more time outdoors. Like it's some huge step into like a vacation.
I went to the river yesterday, and I live just a few blocks from the Hudson River.
Yeah.
And right near where I live, there's like this pier that goes way out into the river, quite far actually, And Hudson River is beautiful. I can look all the way up past the George Washington Bridge, and
Hudson River is beautiful.
Down. Yeah, it's big, wide, beautiful river. It's beautiful, absolutely.
I just live right up river from you, man.
I know you're just right up there.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And I was thinking, there's something, ever since I was a kid, I always felt this way. But like, if I'm near water, it's almost like I feel very incomplete if I don't actually swim.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that river and just saying, actually, although the river has a history of pollution, for the most part, it's very swimmable nowadays. It's only like after heavy storms that it's
it's the PCBs that are problematic.
And I'm looking at the whole like the river bank, and I'm thinking there's no place to swim, and really, mental health is like such a an issue, particularly in the city, right? Like people just lose their minds, and they experience anxiety and they experience depression, and so much of it has to do with not being in touch with nature. That whole riverbank should just be for swimming,
should
and
just
like
be beaches.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
And everybody should, and it's not just like a luxury or just like some kind of little like quality of life thing. It's actually, we need it for our mental health. What to speak of deeper spiritualizations, right? Just so that we're not freaking out.
There is something so like mentally purifying by jumping in a cold pond.
Oh yeah, right.
Cold river, bathing in a river. That's like the best.
I know. It's
Mara, trivia question. What was the name of Henry Hudson's boat? I bet she gets this.
I don't know it. I don't think.
You know it, Costilla?
No, I think it's a totally irrelevant point here.
It is.
I don't know why you're so excited about it. But you may as well tell us.
The half moon. The half moon.
Okay.
Okay, go on with that.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, like we don't even realize how important it is, right? Even for a mental equilibrium. Right? You walk down the streets and everybody's saying the city's going out of control. Like, like people are freaking out left and right. And, there's a crime problem. There's a depression problem. You're not bathing. Those rivers, go bathe in the river. You need to bathe in the river.
Fix
your
head.
Look at the sun. You need to look at the moon. You need to, be around trees and all of that. And not only will you feel like refreshed from it, but you will get deeper spirit. You'll realize everyone's my brother, everyone's my sister. You'll realize that I'm eternal. Your fear will start to go away. We need to come to these spiritual realizations. Nature's important. It can't just be neglected. It's been too neglected in this city. We're gonna Open up the
Brings
rivers.
brings us back to Ashram Week 2.0. I feel like that's what we're doing. We have a bunch of people, from Long Island here, a bunch of people from all over. We got Michigan, Long Island, Florida, and they're all just like walking around, chanting, singing songs, meandering around. It's so pleasant. And it's a pleasant atmosphere to practice spiritual life. And it's like 24/7. They get no downtime in their spiritual life. You know, it's just, it's full on. And when you fill your cup like that, how do you guys feel? Okay. They said great and awesome. So I don't know if you could, hear that cheering in the background, but
do the people from Long Island talk like this?
Hey, that's Danica Kazakowski, and sorry.
I'm just asking. I'm not criticizing.
You talk like that, but
Long Island. It's gorgeous.
That was my mom, actually.
Okay.
All right.
Why don't we move on?
Let's get in. Jane Goodall, you did it again. Thank you. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Mara.
Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 24, Text 36.
36. So what's happening here, Raghunath?
Don't ask me.
Lord Shiva is sharing with the Prachetas the mantra, which is a prayer.
He's glorifying the mantra, right?
Well, now he's even giving it, right? He's praying it. He's saying it.
Oh, this whole thing is the mantra he's giving them?
Well, he started it now, right? It said, text 33, Lord Shiva addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the following prayer.
Okay.
So we're getting into, and he's describing, it's Lord Shiva really, he's like the closest thing to God that's not the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, right? Yeah. He's like this very unique kind of category of being who's like just a slight transformation of Lord Vishnu.
They say like milk is to yogurt. It's the same thing.
Or like yogurt is to milk, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing, but it's actually the completely different also.
It's transformed.
What a great analogy, right? It's
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now he's easy to mistake for the Supreme because he is so, so closely related. But he's making it clear, like, he is Narayana Para. He is surrendered to Lord Narayan. He is Lord Narayan's devotee. And he's beginning to describe Lord Narayan. In text 33, he said that he's always auspicious. And he said that he's the super soul, right? He's the Paramatma. He's the soul within every living body, accompanying every soul within every living body. He said that he's the origin of creation and that he's always peaceful in text 34. And in text 35, it was said that he was Sankarshana, that he was the Sankarshana. He is the master of integration, right? He is that being that's pulling it all together, that's making all of this work, What
does Sankarshan mean?
Well, the translation here was given the master of integration, Sankarshana. Sang means together, right?
I think it's the resting place, Karshana? Maybe. What does that mean?
Karshana.
One of you pundits.
We need a Sanskrit pundit.
We need a Zoom.
Yeah, a Zoomer that can. Anyway, here it was called.
Yeah.
The master of integration. And I think a lot of what's, what, Raghunath? Let's get back to Jane, right?
Bring it back to Jane, please.
I think what we're hearing in this prayer from Shiva. It has a lot to do with like recognizing the integration, recognizing that there is a flow, right? Like that this is all moving in one way, and go with it rather than fight it, right? It's like an ignorant person could get thrown into the middle of traffic and say, well, it may be going one way, but I'm going another way. It's like,
Right.
but try to understand that there's a meaning to my birth, to my aging, to reproduction, to growing old, to dying. Like there's cycles that are taking place. We can see them in nature, we can see them in the seasons, but we can also understand that that's just the micro, that there's a macro. There's the seasons of the universe and so on, that the universe in one sense is very great, but in another sense is very small, that I'm very small, but I'm connected to something very great. That I am that I am eternal energy. I should try to, as Jane Goodall was saying, there should be moments, if I'm searching for them, of true awareness. They may be rare, but they're real, and they may come unannounced, but I should search for them and treasure them and hold on to them and recognize that there's not, with all the integration that there is in this world, there has to be an integrator, right, or a master of integration. Let me go with let me not fight the traffic and just crash myself or get arrested or something. Let me learn what I'm supposed to learn from it and go with it. And so that has to do with recognizing the person that's behind it, trying to understand their plan for me, and where I'm meant to go. So a lot of this prayer is recognizing that person, and the wonders of Lord Narayan or of Krishna, and appreciating them.
All right, so let's.
Text
So where are we?
36, was it?
We on 30.
Was that it, Mary?
36, yeah.
36. Ready?
Yeah.
My Lord, as the supreme directing deity known as Aniruddha, you are the master of the senses and the mind. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you again and again. You are known as Ananta, as well as Shankarshana, because of your ability to destroy the whole creation by the blazing fire from your mouth.
Ananta.
Shankarshana.
Yeah.
My Lord, O Aniruddha, you are the authority by which the doors of the higher planetary systems and liberation are opened. You are always within the pure heart of the living entity. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you. You are the possessor of semen, which is like gold, and thus, in the form of fire, you help the Vedic sacrifices, beginning with the Chaturhotra. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you. These are the mantras that he's giving to the prachetas?
Yeah, it's a prayer.
Okay.
But this is what they're being instructed to chant. It'd be interesting to hear a little of Sanskrit. You want to try to do Sanskrit in the next one and hear what it sounds like? Give it a try. Give it a try.
I haven't figured out how to flick back and forth. It's going to be.
What is so hard? You just click where it says, where it's lit up red.
I don't want this to be my experiment time. I'm doing a podcast.
All right, I'll do the Sanskrit for the next one. Which we're on 38.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get the meter right. Oh, it's easy. Nama urja ishetraya pataye yagna retase tripti daya chajivanam nama sarva rasatmane.
My Lord.
Poetry. Yeah.
My Lord, you are the provider of the Pitri Lokas, as well as all the demigods. The Pitri Lokas are the planets, or the forefathers. You are the predominating deity of the moon and the master of the three Vedas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because you are the original source of satisfaction for all living entities.
So we're hearing that he's the Lord of the senses and the mind. It's through him that he's the original source of satisfaction that we're all searching for. Okay.
My dear Lord.
Should we try Sanskrit again?
Sure.
Sarva sarvatma deheya visheshaya staviyase namastralokya palaya sah ojo balaya cha.
My dear Lord, you are the gigantic universal form which contains all the individual bodies of the living entities. You are the maintainer of the three worlds, and as such, you maintain the mind, senses, body, and the air of life within them. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
This is a macro micro verse.
Yeah, tell me.
my dear Lord, you are the gigantic universal form, which contains all the individual bodies of the living entities. So, like, I think we should read this commentary. Let's
All right.
hear this. Should I read it, or do you want to?
I'll click it.
Okay, click it.
As the individual body of the living entity is composed of millions of cells, germs, microbes, the universal body of the Supreme Lord similarly contains all the individual bodies of the living entities.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Lord Shiva is offering his obeisances to the universal body, which includes all other bodies, so that everyone's body may fully engage in devotional service. Since the individual body is composed of the senses, all of the senses should be engaged in devotional service. For instance, the smelling instrument, the nose, can engage in the smelling of flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. The hands can engage in cleansing the temple of the Lord, etc. Indeed, being the life air of every living entity, the Lord is the maintainer of the three worlds. Consequently, he can induce every living entity to engage in his real life's duty with full bodily and mental strength.
Okay, I think let's slow down for a second. I think this is what the prayer is about a lot, right? It's saying that it's a prayer that I may have full bodily and mental strength in understanding my purpose, right? And in playing along with it, not fighting against it. So we're hearing here how, like, just like our bodies are made up of so many cells, right? And as well as germs and microbes. And it's saying that, so if you look at your own body and conceive of it that way, you can say, well, I am the soul within this body, and my consciousness permeates my entire body. And so similarly, this entire universe is like a body. And Lord Vishnu is like, it's his consciousness which is spread throughout the entire universe. So he's like the soul of the entire universe. And that means that I am like one of these little cells or germs or microbes, right? And it's meant to be one big healthy organism. It's meant to all work together. And the way that our bodies work when they're working well is that they eliminate whatever is not healthy, right? Like you have a disease, and then the body has a way that, like, its immune system fights against it and eliminates whatever is not healthy.
Mara, we are germs. Take that away.
We are germs. Yeah. And so is this, am I like a virus, or
Right.
or am I like a healthy functioning cell? Right. Yeah. And if I'm a virus, it means I'm going to suffer. It means that the universal body is going to work in such a way that I need to be reformed. I need to be purified. I need to, something has to change.
You can tell when you're doing like virus activity, like this is completely, when we're way off track, it's like, I am polluting this entire universe with this behavior, with these thoughts. There are definitely times where I feel like I am going south quick. This is not a good thing going on. I'm not helping the whole universe here. And there's times where I feel like I'm in the flow of things. And then you read the newspaper and people sometimes do atrocious things. It's like some people act like a virus. You know what I mean?
It's cancer on society.
Yeah.
And so
it's a Fibonacci spiral at its best, right? We are tiny part. We just like we have a body. This concentric circles goes wider and wider, and then there's this universal body, and we are all those germs.
And it's going further. Like so in the commentary, Prabhupada's, and it's not just in the commentary, but actually Lord Shiva is kind of indicating it too, because he's praying to Lord Vishnu as the master of the mind, as the master of the senses, right? So he's saying like, so like I'm a cell within the body of Lord Vishnu, like the universe, which is Lord Vishnu's body. So similarly, I have a body, and my body is made up of all these parts too. Like most fundamentally, it's made up of senses, right? So let me see that those senses are part of that holistic, healthy organism. Let me engage those, right? So if I engage my nose, how will I engage my nose? How will I engage my hands? How he's saying that if we take all those little parts that we have some control over, and rather than have them control us and become viruses or cancers, consciously engage them as part of that healthy organism, right? And that healthy organism is healthy when it's like lovingly connected with its source, right? Working in cooperation with the will of the source. And all the will of that source. It's not like we're being like made slaves or something like that. It's like the will of that source is just divine love. It's just to experience, beautiful, loving sentiments, and share those with every living being. So am I a Cancer that's working against that, that's become selfish and simply wants its own separate satisfaction? Then you're a Cancerous, and the body's going to move in such a way to like purify you. Or you can accept, like that the holistic plan and work with it. Engage my senses and engage my body, my mind with it, and be healthy and happy and satisfied.
That's a heavy statement, huh? Am I a heavy question?
Am I
a cancerous
Am I a virus?
Like, am I like so self-absorbed? I'm just like causing pain wherever I go. It's good. It's also important just to see the world in this big paradigm, like how we are part of something so much bigger. It helps me get out of my head of my issues and what I'm going through and my big problems I'm facing, and just helps you zoom out and see the tininess and practical insignificance of material existence. Whenever, as far as dealing with issues or massive problems, etc., the big zoom out helps me overcome some of those little daily hurdles I might be facing.
Good point, Roga.
Yeah.
So why don't we finish it? Why don't you start? Just repeat.
Finish the purport.
Yeah, but go back to where it says indeed. Indeed.
Indeed. I gotta say indeed more. I gotta say indeed more. Indeed.
Indeed. What do you always say? Let the magic continue.
Let the magic continue. Indeed.
Indeed.
Oh, I heard a good word. I read a good word. What was that word yesterday we read? Bauble. Bauble. I was like, wait, Coach Stuba hears this word, a bauble. Consequently, indeed, being the life heir of the living entity, the Lord is the maintainer of the three worlds. Consequentially, he can induce every living entity to engage in his real life's duty with full bodily and mental strength. You know what I like about the Bhagavatam? It just throws out there, by the way, your life has purpose.
Yeah.
Your life, real life's duty. It's like no one ever told us we have a duty in this world. We just said, okay, go. Figure out what you want to do in this, at best. Figure out what you want to do with this life. Go out there, live your dreams. But you actually have a life's duty. Like it really, that's why for the certain demographic, when they hear stuff like that, we're just like, what's our life's duty? What is our life? This is huge for most people. Because most people just, right? They're just bumping around looking for stuff to do, how to be happy in this world. There is a reason why we're here. It's good to know. Otherwise, you can get real depressed.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Consequently, he can induce every living entity to engage in his real life's duty and with full bodily and mental strength. Thus, every living entity should serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his prana, artha, and intelligence and words.
Life, wealth, intelligence, and words.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it states in the 10th canto, Tavaj janma sapalyam dehinam iha dehishu pranar arthardiya vacha shreya archanam sada. Even though one may desire to engage in the service of the Lord, without sanction, one cannot do so. Lord Shiva is offering his prayers in so many different ways in order to show living entities how to engage in bhakti, or devotional service of the Lord.
Here's the verse that you just read. This is that Prabhupada just quoted in that. It's Srimad Bhagavatam 10:22-35. It is the duty of every living being. And here duty we say, but we could say it's the dharma, right? It's like it's our natural proclivity. It's actually when we're operating. You see again. I think like our American minds are, they're like, don't tell me what my duty is, right? Like
do whatever I want.
Yeah, do what I want. I don't need you to tell me what my duty is. But and if we hear it like that way, we get triggered, right? But really, it's the healthy proclivity. It's the natural healthy proclivity, right? So let's read it that way, right? It is the natural, healthy proclivity of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with their life, wealth, intelligence, and words.
Yeah. Want to know what to do? That's what you got to do.
There's your formula for like happiness. If you want to stop being a cancerous cell, right, and like and get universal chemotherapy like aimed at you, right, like or you're you got radiation like aimed at you, like wiping you out, then this is the way that you become a healthy cell. I'll read it again. It is the natural healthy proclivity or dharma for every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with their life, with your wealth, with your intelligence, and with your words. If we start using them that way, then naturally we start to feel healthy and happy and holistic and connected and alive.
You know what we are, Kostubaji?
What are we?
We are complicated machines without instruction manuals. We got this complicated machine. Like, now what do you do with this thing? I don't know. What seems to be good? What is someone selling me to have a good time? Or even around here, like if you're in upstate New York, they're like you go into some old barn or there's a barn sale and there's like this tool. And you're like, what the hell is this tool?
What do they do with this?
It's not like a hoe. It's not a rake. And because there's tools that became, just for example, to make a big beam for a barn. They didn't have, before they were like, you had sawmills, you would just chop it. You would chop these big, long trunks of trees and sort of like shave away into squares. And that's how you build these beams. But there's no use for that once the sawmill came. And so you'll find these weird tools in barns that you don't even know what they do. They've almost become irrelevant. We've done that with our body and our mind and our senses. We're like, we don't even know what to do with this thing anymore.
You're right.
No one told me what it. Now, if you were to find some old farmer, like, oh yeah, that's how we used to make beams. Oh yeah, that's how we used to shave down, doors and make the down. Yeah, those are. We take off the wagon wheels and put on the sled wheels of the carriage, and that's how we got around in the winter. Like, you won't even know what to do with this stuff if you find it in a barn. You need a farmer. You need an old farmer to tell you what the hell to do with these things. We need the Vedas to give us some instructions to do with what to do with this body. Because here's what will happen. If you have no wealth and if you have no material success, you'll look up to those who appear on social media to have happy, successful lives.
They look like the healthy cells.
And you're like, yeah, you'll look up at those people. You'll think, yes, I just got to get there. If I could just get there, if I could just climb that ladder. But all those people, it's just like, they're just like doing the sort of like the obvious things. Well, the wealthy people, I guess we should travel. I guess we should find a good beach. I guess I should buy a boat. I guess I should, all these things, how to be happy in this world, how to be satisfied in this world. And they're lost. They're just like driving Ferraris with no direction. We don't want to be in we just don't want tons of resources and not know what to do with those resources. That's depressing. That must be really, really depressing when you have all the fame, you have all the wealth, you have all the beauty, but you just don't know how to direct that. And then someone will say, well, money is the root of all evil. It can be, but we're saying harness all your resources. You got nothing, give what you can. You got a lot, give what you can, and use those resources for the benefit of humanity at large to give back. We need that instruction manual, Prabhu.
It's right here.
Here we go.
This is it.
We are just like old barn tools.
Get that, Mara. We are old barn.
We are old barn tools. We are germs. We are right.
We're old barn tools.
What else are we today? We are Raghunath.
We're old barn tools. What?
You can call me Barney.
Everyone gets that one. How come that one never became huge? We're old barn tools.
Yeah, that one. No one's. That's a T-shirt.
Okay. But it's crazy, but it has become counterintuitive to think like this, right? That I will become happy by thinking the welfare of others, right? I'll be happy by giving my life, my wealth, my intelligence, my words to it. I love the way that it's kind of here. It's being broken down, a little different than we commonly get it. Commonly we get it right is there's the body, there's the words, and there's the mind, right? That we take our body. That's another way to break it down, right? But here it's also saying, okay, practically we can also say like engage our wealth, right? or engage our intelligence. You could say that's mind and our words. But if we think like this, right? How am I using my body? How am I using my words? How am I using my mind? And they become more subtle as you go, right? It's easiest to control the body. It's a little bit more difficult to control the words, and it's still more difficult to control the mind. But to my process of becoming that healthy cell, that healthy, happy, holistic, contributing part of the healthy body of Lord Vishnu, is to become that giver, right? And to begin to, and we'll have those aha moments. We'll have those moments like Jane was speaking about. They may come. What did she say? They come unexpected or unannounced.
Yeah,
A moment of true awareness that I'm happier when I give. I'm happy. The Bible says it too, right? That was Paul to the Corinthians, Raghunath.
Was it Paul? Was it in
Paul.
Paul 1 or Paul 2?
It was in his book to the Corinthians, where he said,
Yeah, there was a couple of Pauls in there.
Okay, well, Paul, like the
Corinthians 1 or
Paul.
Corinthians 2, wise guy.
I don't know whether it's 1 or 2. I don't know. But where he said,
"You trying to get all biblical me? I'll biblical you right back."
It was probably 2, because I think it was when he was cutting out. Like, it was just kind of like his goodbye to them. And in this beautiful letter, he's saying, like, he shares that really famous quote that is, it is more blessed to give than to receive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I did a little research on that verse.
Did you?
Yeah, I went back to the original Greek, Raghunath.
You went to the Greek and you said you busted out your.
How do you like that?
You are a scholar, sir.
And what I found was that the word that's used for blessed, it indicates more than just being blessed, but it indicates like happiness, right? So in a sense, it's saying one is blessed more with happiness when one is giving rather than when one is receiving. This is the key. This is the heart of the. This is the healing kind of element that transforms the unhealthy cell to the healthy cell, to learn to give, to learn to find happiness in giving. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with their life, with their wealth, with their intelligence and words. You know what we need to create, Raghunath? We have these sage groups.
Yeah.
We want to create Sage Academy so that everyone will have, all our listeners can get deeper training and education.
Yeah.
And we want Sage Care, that we can help people like overcome the different obstacles that may come in their path to their bhakti. But I think we need something called, you ready for this, Raghunath?
Sage animals.
No.
Sage, take care of. I think that would be good. Sage animals. We take care of abandoned animals.
Well, that could be one little part of this, but the larger thing, Sage Engage.
Sage engage, like engage people who are not married to each other.
No. You totally.
Yeah, you too. You're getting married. Sage engage. You're married to a sage. He's so boring.
No, you could do that Sage Engage, but my Sage Engage is more like engage people according to the proclivities in ways that they can give back.
That type of engage.
Yes, engagement, okay. Like that way.
Yeah, be engaged.
But I think people really need that. Like when we were in in Italy, everyone's coming up like, this is what I do for a living, and I want to engage it in service. Sure. I think we got to come up with Sage Engage.
Sage Engage.
Particularly, it could start with Sage group members. We can get like resumes and ways that they want to serve. And
that's a good idea.
Just just
start
gave a little
plugging
heart.
in
heart.
Puzzle pieces, 2 puzzle pieces.
Yeah, because actually it's a fact. I remember once when we were having Radhanath Swami was kind of giving some instructions to the staff of the Bhakti Center.
Did Kylie Brown just drop a heart?
She dropped a heart for Sage Engage.
Yeah. You can drop hearts. I didn't even know you could drop hearts.
She dropped a heart.
I think she's the only one that's ever dropped a heart.
Well,
Mara, is that true?
No, other people have dropped hearts.
Other people drop hearts? Am I oblivious to people dropping hearts?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys, drop hearts if you like things. The Karuna just dropped a heart. Okay.
So what Radhanath Swami told the staff of the Bhakti Center was he said that if you look at the people that, and he probably even used the word engage, right? But the people that really stay engaged in their practice of bhakti, they're the ones that have found some service. right? They're the ones that have found, we need that service, to otherwise it's like, there's this theory that I do, and there's some practices, but we actually need to engage our body, our mind, our words, our wealth. We need to find, we're getting lots of people are dropping hearts like crazy.
Well, I don't understand. I thought that they're dropping hearts on the message board. Are they dropping them
you
on
knew
the
they could drop them on the
picture?
message board, but you
I
didn't
knew
know
they could drop them in the picture because they drop in the pictures.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Sage
Now,
engaged.
I actually think, Mara, you can clarify this, because Mara got swept in to the riptide of devotional service by just
being engaged.
By being engaged.
Yeah.
And she shared with me, like, yeah, the show has sort of like swept you away. You want to share that, Mara?
In a good way, I hope.
In a good way, yeah.
She's lost. She's completely lost now.
I got swept away.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys know me, like, I have no qualifications to be the executive producer of Wisdom of the Sages. I mean, I don't have like the technical skills. I don't have, I'm not very.
We just wanted to give you a title.
But yeah, because of this service, I feel like I'm still here, and I'm part of the community, and I think that's been huge, is having that daily service to do.
We need Sage Engage, Raghunath.
You need to Sage Engage. This is actually super important. And I find that when people get into bhakti, but they don't have that service, they can go to all other places with their intelligence. They start to critique things and criticize, find fault, and find why here's why I'm not fulfilled. And they start becoming like, how could I fix things? We got to fix ourselves. We need to fix ourselves. We need some regular service on a regular basis, or else we become fixers of the universe. We got to fix ourselves. Fixers of other people. How can I save other people's? Or then we find something like, there's some flaw in this because I'm not really fulfilled. And, there's some deeper flaw. We got to find a service that we love to show up for on a regular basis, that we feel like, I own this. Even if it's something like, you go to a temple and you're in charge of this one garden bed or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Something that's yours that you can take ownership of, that you feel like a contributing factor.
When Ratna Swami shared that, he gave the example of one person who just comes and, like several times a week, they just like sweep the stairs, It's like a simple thing, but it's like, that's my service, even little things become important.
And you take great pride in that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to sweep this thing the best, I'm going to become the best sweeper in the whole city, right? I'm going to sweep this thing because I'm doing it for Krishna. I'm doing it for the devotees, It's heart-changing and mind-purifying.
I find there's three things that are very important. If you're settled in a relationship, if you're settled in having a teacher, and if you're settled in having a service.
Oh, say that again. Three things. This is Raghunath's things.
Raghunath, settled in a relationship.
This will be a book. The three things from Raghunath.
The three things. If you're settled in a relationship, if you're settled in your service, and if you're settled in a teacher or teachers in your life, you are like on the fast track to actually there's fourth and your actually career, your career, what you're doing, occupation. Your occupation. So your occupation could also be tied in with your service, or it doesn't have to be, but it's got to be sort of settled in your mind. I've seen people go through the other things where they have their guru and they have their teacher, they're not settled. They're not settled in what their actual contribution is, and they sort of flounder around. And I see people settled in their occupation, but they have no teachers in their life, and they have no service. Then I see people who are like, they go through all the process, they get initiated and stuff like that, but they don't have a connection to a temple, to a community, and they have no like real offering, and they just get it becomes frustrating.
That's our world now. It's like we remain unsettled for a long time, even like deep into life. It's like the Vedic way again. Our Western mind kind of revolts against it, but the tradition is that you're married young, that the occupation you're going to do because you're just going to do what your family's always done anyway. It's like those very ideas like rub us, rub our feathers the wrong way. But actually, there's an advantage.
I want to be more.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But in the name of our choices, we suffer tremendously in the mind. I have so many choices. I'm suffering.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that we should force people to get married young, or that we should, pressure people into doing what their parents. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying look at try to understand the advantages of that. And really, I think you're getting to the essence of it, Raghunath. Whether we're married young or whether we do what our parents did or what, that's not really the question. The question is, are we settled? Because if we're unsettled, it's going to be hard to engage deeply in yoga. When you're unsettled, it's harder to have a peaceful mind. It's hard for a mind not to become full of fear or anxiety or hankering or whatever. You settle those things and then you can focus.
Okay. This was good.
Where are we at? We got 5 minutes left.
We flounder around.
Okay. Should we read another verse?
Yeah. This
Text 40.
verse,
Should we do the Sanskrit again?
text 41.
Text
No,
40.
text 40.
Text 40, man. I always do that. My dear Lord.
Hold it. Let's do the Sanskrit. We're doing the Sanskrit today.
Okay, I'm open on it. Okay.
Okay.
Artha lingaya nabase namo nantar bahir atmane nama punyaya lokaya amushmai buru varchase. How was that?
It was absolutely lovely.
Reasonable.
Yeah. Not
My
bad.
dear Lord, by expanding your transcendental vibrations, you reveal the actual meaning of everything. You are the all-pervading sky within and without. That's nice with the all-pervading sky.
Within and without.
Yes. And you are the ultimate goal of pious activities executed both within this material world and beyond it. The goal of pious activities, right? That's a good, why am I being pious? To please Lord Vishnu. That is the ultimate goal of it. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances to you again and again.
By expanding your transcendental vibrations, you reveal the actual meaning of everything. I like that. Why don't we read the purport?
Vedic evidence is called Shabda Brahma.
Spiritual sound.
Brahman, spiritual sound. There are many things which are beyond the perception of our imperfect senses.
Many things.
Love that. I love that. Imperfect senses. Prabhupada says that again and again. Imperfect senses.
Yeah.
We tend to think well, I figured it out. Who cares? You've got imperfect senses. Who cares if you think you figured it out?
Yeah.
Why didn't I can't see it? Yeah, of course you can. You have imperfect senses, fool.
Yeah, that's why. Well, show it to me. Well, you can't see it, idiot.
You can't.
You got
see
imperfect
it.
senses.
I can't. I can't see without these glasses. What makes me think I can see Krishna? The Vedas are known as Shabda Brahman because evidence taken from the Vedas constitutes the ultimate understanding. This is because Shabda Brahma, or the Vedas, represent the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay. However, the real essence of Shabda Brahma is chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Which is okay, so the essence, in other words, the mantra is sound. It's also Shabda Brahma, but it's like the essence, all of the Vedic teachings, if you churned them and churned them and churned them and churned them until you got down to the essence and boil it down to the essence, it's all found in that mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's all right there, of Radha and Krishna, the love between the two of them, it's all there. It's all there.
By vibrating, yet still we fight it.
Why? Don't fight
still
it.
we fight it. Don't fight it.
Go with it, Radha.
I'm going to fight the flow. I can figure it out. I don't need no mantra.
Don't fight the flow.
Don't fight the flow. Don't fight the flow. Yeah, it's just like going against traffic. It's like swimming upstream. That is like my punk rock mentality. Yeah. I have to fight the flow.
I mean, you got to fight the anti-flow, right? Go against the anti-flow so that you can go with the flow. Okay. So if the world is the anti-flow, then there has to be some opposition. But ultimately, there's a flow that we're meant to go with. And that's this Maha Mantra.
All right, let me continue this purport. By vibrating this transcendental sound, the meaning of everything, both material and spiritual, is revealed.
That is so important. I mean,
it's called revelation.
We could do a whole show on that.
You can try to figure out everything with your own senses. They're imperfect. They're limited, right? Suppose I can't see the stars, so I build this telescope. What good is that? If my eye is limited of what I can perceive, what good is extending my limited senses?
Good point.
Huh?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that.
All right, I just thought I'd share that. Okay,
but what I was getting off on here.
What were you?
Was this sentence? This sentence is so pregnant with meaning. It's like ridiculous, right?
Birth it for us.
Okay, I'll try.
Birth that pregnant
I'll
sentence.
do the doula. Sentence doula.
You are the wisdom doula.
So by vibrating this transcendental sound, he's saying within this mantra, chanting it, hearing it, meditating, by vibrating this transcendental sound, the meaning of everything. This is a very bold statement.
The meaning of everything,
both material and spiritual, is revealed. Because like we understand, like on the esoteric side of our bhakti practice, we say that there's particularly our lineage, right? Like our Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage, where our faith is that the goal of everything and where this whole spiritual path leads is to a particular loving relationship with God, right? And when I say particular, I mean a detailed, in great detail, right? Like I may love God like a friend. Well, what kind of friend? Well, he has different kind of friends. You know, you can be like this kind of very intimate. There's different kind of friendships. You know, you can be the lover of God. Well, what kind of lover? You know, there's all varieties of lovers. You know,
part-time lovers.
There's there's part-time lovers. There's full-time lovers. What does that look like? And even it gets down so detailed, like, you know, like, what's your name? How do you dress? You know, like all those things, you know, but like all of that is said to be revealed through the mantra, right? You chant the mantra, you meditate on it, you connect with it, and that will be revealed through the mantra. So here it's saying everything material and spiritual by chanting. What Jane Goodall was aiming at by going out into nature for, we can go into this mantra for. But and honestly, I should.
No chimpanzees required.
More, right? No chimpanzee required.
Like, so do you need a chimpanzee for this mantra? Let me get to the bottom. No,
I'm surprised you don't have a chimpanzee right now. How is it that you don't have a chimpanzee?
I've always.
So everything is being revealed through it. Like, in other words, who I am, what I meant, just what we just read earlier, like how I meant to give back, how I meant to give my life, how I meant to give my wealth and my intelligence and my words. And then ultimately everything's spiritual. You know, like I think we've run out of time. Maybe we got to start here tomorrow, get right back into this.
Dive right back. I like the idea. Like everything is revealed.
It's all revealed.
I can't even, can I contain everything in this tiny little vessel? Everything? How to build an earthen house, how to take apart a refrigerator and put it back together. Who is God? You know, what? Tell me about the different planets. Everything is going to be revealed, or maybe everything I need.
There you go.
Maybe that. Maybe everything this
that's
tiny
relevant.
little.
Yeah, you don't need everything trivial.
We don't need everything. Yeah. We just need, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to know every road to Los Angeles if I'm driving to Los Angeles. I just need to know one road.
That'll get you there.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. That is a relief. I don't want to know everything.
The mantra revealed a new thing to you right now.
Oh, it did. It did. You are the wisdom doula. Thank you for birthing that.
You're welcome. Mara.
We have some good takeaways today.
Okay.
I'm sure we do.
And don't freak out, freak in.
I'd love that one.
Oh,
No, that's don't freak in, right? Is that what you said? Freak in. Chic.
Step off the current and into eternity.
That's a great song. We're gonna
step out the say that again.
Step out of the current and into eternity.
Oh, that's right. Remember that?
That is like that's like a Styx song.
Step out of the current. Just so that you know, Raghunath, you don't have to break into a song for every one of these.
I don't. Only if they feel like a song.
I think they feel like it too much.
For you.
Vishnu is the soul of the entire universe. We are germs.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. We are germs.
Am I a virus or a healthy cell?
Which one is it going to be?
The big zoom out helps overcome daily hurdles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Daily hurdles.
Hurdles.
Wordsmithing.
Wordsmith, yeah.
Hurdles hurt turtles.
Hurdles hurt turtles.
We're on to something. Keep working with that.
The Vedas are an instruction manual for this human body.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Find happiness in giving. Fix ourselves and serve.
Silence, crickets for that one.
Boring.
I want to go back to the
Not
turtles.
boring. That's like the goal of life. All right,
Fix
go on.
ourselves and serve daily.
What is it? Fix
Fix
yourself.
ourselves, yeah, and serve daily.
Okay. All right.
Was that the last one?
No.
Yeah.
We
usually
are
end high. We usually end high.
Yeah.
we are old barn tools
We're old
Oh.
barn tools from
And-
Scranton.
and fight the anti-flow.
Fight the anti-flow. I like that one.
I like ending with we're old barn tools.
That one.
We're old barn tools. Sounds like a band name, Old Barn Tools.
Fight. How about the anti-flow?
Sort of like we're the old barn tools could be sort of like a country band, a country western band.
We're old barn.
We're old
tools.
barn tools from Nashville.
Nashville. Well, yeah. I mean, you end up in Nashville, right? But they're probably from like Louisiana or something like that. Or
Yeah,
Arkansas.
they moved to Nashville to try to get a record deal.
They never quite got one.
Never got. Have you checked out? No one's at their gig.
Old barn tools.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for live, Harry Bo.